Hi guys, how's it going? This is Amanda from Amanda Around the Globe, and today is day 3 of the money saving series. In the first day we talked about how we're going to kick it off with a spending freeze. In the second day we talked about how to cut out your reoccurring monthly expenses, and today we are talking about how to pay off debt. So I'm going to mainly focus on credit card debt because that is the most common form of debt, but I'll also have some tips at the end for other types of debt. If you have credit card debt, you're going to want to pay that off as quickly as possible because you're paying at least 14% interest every month on your credit card debt. So paying off your credit card debt not only saves you a lot of money on interest, but it also gives you so much peace of mind emotionally, and for me it just helps me feel so much better to know that I don't have credit card debt. So if you do have credit card debt, there are a few different ways to pay it off. First, I'm going to talk about what to do if you have multiple credit cards, and then I'm going to tell you guys a few different ways to pay off your credit cards if you only have one. If you have multiple credit cards, there are two main ways to pay off your credit card bills. The first one is Snowball Method, which is Dave Ramsey's method, and in that method you just pick the credit card with the lowest balance and start paying that one off as aggressively as possible and set up minimum payments for the rest of your cards. That one is a really popular method because it can help you keep a lot of motivation because it feels like you're doing a lot to pay off your debt and it feels like you're aggressively attacking it. The second method makes more sense financially, but the first method makes more sense emotionally and like motivationally. But the second method is to pick the card with the highest APR, the highest interest rate, and pay that one off first. So this may not be the one with the highest balance, but picking the one with the highest APR will save you the most money in the long term, and paying that one off as aggressively as possible while paying the minimum payment on the other ones, however many you have. So those are the two main ways to pay off your credit cards. The important thing here is that it's not really which way you choose, it's just that you choose a way to do it. So if you have credit card debt, pick one of those options right now and make a plan to pay that credit card debt off. Another tip for if you have credit card debt, just stop using your credit cards completely. Don't even use them anymore. If you cannot afford something with cash, you can't afford it at all, so don't buy it. Another tip for credit card debt is to call your credit card company and negotiate your APR. Call your credit card company and tell them that you are planning to aggressively attack your credit card bill and that you've been a customer for X amount of years, and just ask them to lower your APR. There's a good chance that they'll do it. This doesn't work every time, but it is a possibility, and that'll just save you a ton of money in interest right there with just a few minutes of your time to make that phone call. So when you're paying off your credit card bills, you're going to want to make sure that you have the cash flow to actually do this. So if you're not making enough money to pay off your credit card bills, that's something that you're going to have to assess. Definitely check out my video, 17 ways to make money online. You guys can start a side hustle to help pay off your credit card bills faster. I'll link that here. If you don't have the cash flow to pay off your credit cards, make sure that you create more cash flow, ask for a raise, try to find a second job, do whatever you have to do to be able to pay off those bills. Next tip, you create a budget. Give yourself a certain amount of money for food, everything that you spend monthly on. You might have to cut down on some things or cut back, but if you prioritize your debt, you'll be able to get it paid off so much faster. So go through your budget and be as strict as possible without completely changing your life, if that makes sense. So if you currently eat out a lot and you have credit card debt, consider eating out maybe once or twice a month instead of 5 or 6 times a month, and that could save you hundreds of dollars right there. You don't have to change your life entirely, you just have to cut back on a few things. A few quick tips for other types of debt. If you have a car payment and it seems overwhelming to you and it's too high, consider selling your car. Even if it's just the amount that you still owe on it, consider selling it, get rid of it, and then buy a car that you can afford in cash. So maybe you'll have to drive a beater car for a few years, but the ability to be able to have no car payment and a lower car insurance premium will be so helpful and beneficial. Like, it will make you feel so good. I have actually never had a car payment. I've never had an auto loan. I've always bought my cars in cash, and it's so amazing to not have to have a car payment. I've also never owned a new car. I've always bought used cars. I think my first car was 7 years old and my second car was like 7 or 8 years old, and they were both really good cars. They lasted me a long time. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. You guys can watch my story of how I went from a shopaholic to a minimalist because I definitely used to be terrible with money. If you guys found this video helpful, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Feel free to share these videos with your friends and family if you think that they could benefit from them, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!